right, Sean Zittel, a joy to be joined by my man Raul Marquez, represented the United States at the '92 Olympics, former world champion at super welterweight. Raul, man, you're back in action. You were a great
Yeah,
commentator for the Showtime boxing series, and now here you are covering fights with your man, the Hall of Famer Al Bernstein in Detroit. Jermaine Franklin, who went the distance with AJ. Now he's fighting Devin Vargas. How excited are you, man, to be back in the commentary booth?
oh man, I'm super excited to get back on the mic. This is actually our third show on the zone with Big Time Boxing USA with Dimitri Salita. But this is the first show that Mr. Al Bernstein, the legend, the Hall of Famer, is going to join me and Corey Erdman, who is a really good broadcaster too.
Yes.
I think it's a great team. We know boxing. We're all like into boxing. I'm a student of the game. So is Corey. Al. I tell everybody, Al covered me in the amateurs. When I was in the Olympic festival, he covered me in the Olympics. He covered me as a professional. And then we did a lot of work together on Showtime. When I did the big shows at times, I did him with him and Mauro and Brian Custer. He also did Showbox with us. So, me and Al go way back, and now to be working back together again on this this platform, Big Time Boxing USA, Salita Promotions, Dimitri Salita. I'm super excited, man. This is what I love to do. I mean, I've been doing broadcasting for many years, and I like to continue. Just because Showtime finished, it doesn't mean it's the end of my career. I've been doing the Team Combat League, and I've been doing the Zone, and I'm available. For whatever gig is out there.
Let me ask you, man, what's kind of your philosophy as a broadcaster since you were a former fighter? Because you know better than even I do, for as tough as fighters are, they can be very sensitive towards what the commentators, the media guys say. So what's kind of your philosophy, that since you're one of the guys who's been on both sides?
Well, I mean, you got to be able to take when a commentator is critiquing you and he's telling you the truth. He's telling me, on the broadcasting side, I'm gonna tell it like it is. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna favor the guy the A guy, the A side guy that's supposed to win. I'm gonna tell it like it is. So I think as a fighter, you got to be able to take criticism and actually learn from that and get better. Listen to, especially someone like me, that I was a fighter and I've seen so many styles, coming up as an amateur, coming up as a pro, as a broadcaster. I've seen prospects, grow into contenders, into world champions. I've covered so many fights, so many championship fights. So if I'm saying something that I see and a fighter, I had fighters come up to me like, oh, well, why were you talking bad about me? Or you thought I should have been doing this, maybe. I deal with that all the time. I deal with that a lot. And I say, look, I tell it like it is. I was an Olympian. I was a world champion. I got a lot of experience. And when I'm saying something, that means it's the truth. That means you got to work on it. Some fighters have, they can be crybabies. Let's be honest. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. And some take it as hey, look, I respect you. I'm gonna try to work on that, and next time you see me, you're gonna see the improvement, and that's the way it should be taken. Because me, when I was a fighter, and somebody was criticizing me or saying I should do this or that, I would work from that. I wouldn't be mad at the broadcaster for saying that. I'm gonna take that as a learning lesson and try to get better. So that's the way it should be.
Who do the fight's already tomorrow night in Detroit,
Yeah.
on Thursday night. Who do you got? Devin Vargas? Well, you're calling the fight, so I understand you can't make that kind of pick, but could you break down the
Well, I
fight
mean,
for me? Yeah.
well, look,
Jermaine Franklin,
I
Devin
mean,
Vargas.
yeah, Jermaine Franklin, he's coming off of, he hasn't fought in about a year. The last fight he won a 10-round unanimous decision against Isaac Gutierrez, a tough Mexican heavyweight that took his shots. And before that, he's coming off of two big names. He fought Dylan White, a fight that I saw the fight. At the worst case scenario, I think it should have been a draw. And if anybody won, I think Jermaine can make a good cause for saying he feels he won the fight. And then after that, he fought Anthony Joshua. He went 12 rounds with Joshua. He showed he did really good the first 4 rounds, and then he kind of lost. He lost focus, and you could see that he needs more experience. So I'm hoping, with those 24 rounds with big names like White and Joshua, and then 10 rounds with the Mexican prospect Isaac Gutierrez, hopefully he has grown, and I think we will see that tomorrow. He's fighting a guy that's a veteran, Devin Vargas. He's been in there with some names too. He's coming out from 4 losses. He lost to undefeated Deontay Pettigrew, 6'7", 6'6", undefeated prospect, and then before that, he got knocked out by Charles Martin, and then he got knocked out by the Chinese fighter Zhang. Yeah. So he's got experience. I think it's a good confidence builder fight for Jermaine Franklin, being that he's been off for almost a year. But like we talked in the fighter meetings, he needs to go out there tomorrow and prove to the people that that he's still around, and get Devin Vargas out of there early. The earlier you get him out of there, it's showing a statement that, hey, I belong in the top 10, which he is in the top 10. He's ranked number 9, but that he belongs there and should deserve another shot at the big time, at one of the big, one of the bigger names. We know Usyk just won all the titles from Fury, but there's other names there that he could fight. Like Joseph Parker, Jared Anderson. The guy that top rank. There's other names that he could fight in there and maybe grow more and then get a shot at the big time.
Is it as a guy who had to always be disciplined and cut down to 54, is it frustrating at all to see two heavyweights that can fight but aren't always in the best shape?
You know what? I think that I think they're in great shape. Especially for Franklin. He knows this is a big opportunity for him to fight on DAZN on this series, Big Time Boxing USA, here in Detroit, not his home state. He lives in Saginaw, Michigan. He wants to really perform for his fans here, and not only his fans, but the boxing world. He wants to show the boxing world that he's the top, one of the top American heavyweights, and he wants another shot at the big time. So I think he had a great training camp. He looks to me like he's in shape. He's fighting a guy that is 42 years old, but Devin Vargas was a great amateur. He was an Olympian. Like I said, he's been there with some big names. Devin Vargas feels very confident too, because he says he's fighting a heavyweight that's not that big. He's fighting a heavyweight that's about his size. He's used to fighting guys that that, like the last guy, the prospect that was undefeated, Pettigrew. He was a 6'6", 6'7". So he feels like he could do something in this fight. He feels motivated. He said that if he doesn't perform right, he's not going to retire. He's thinking about going down a cruiserweight, and we'll see. I think it's a good card. You also got 2 undefeated prospects. It reminds me a lot of ShowBox. You got Joseph Pagan, who's 9-0, who's here. He's a local guy, Grand Rapids, Michigan. He's fighting Roger Healy, who's 13-0 with 8 knockouts. And it's a pretty even matchup there. Guys that are getting tested early on in their career, and like Barry Tompkins would say, somebody's O has got to go.